First of all, I would like to give you understanding about what is the syntax, but permission to use two handphones to see my PPT, right? Because I have a problem on my laptop, so I use the second handphone to see my PowerPoint. So, what is the syntax? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope all of you are fine today. Alright, welcome back again with me in my YouTube channel. First of all, I would like to introduce myself to you. Hello, my name is Alya. You can call me Alya. I'm a student in University of PGRI Wiranegara at English Education Study Program 2023. My student number is 23188203002. And yeah, in this video, I would like to give you more understanding about what is the syntax. So, let's check it out. So, what is the syntax? Syntax is a branch of linguistics that studies how words are arranged to form phrases, clauses, and sentences, so that they create meaning. According to the Adverb 2004 in his book with the title The Minimalist Syntax, he said that syntax focuses on principles and process that shape how the sentences are structured and understood. Okay, next is in syntax, the structure of a sentence is determined by the first is structure, the second is word order, the third is the relationship between elements, and the last is the functions of each element in the sentence. Let's break down one by one. The first is structure. For example, in a sentence, there is a complete structure like there is a subject, there is a verb, and there is a complement like the students read a book. The students is a subject, read as a verb, and a book as a complement. The second is word order, like different word order, different meaning. For example, I have two sentences. The first sentence is I love someone. The second sentence is someone love me. The different word order can make different meaning, right? This is about word order. The next is the relationship between elements. It means that how the part of speech in a sentence can connect each other and have a relationship. For example, the girl with the red hat smiled. The girl is a subject, and with the red hat smiled as a prepositional phrase. So the prepositional phrase like with the red hat smiled give more or describe more about the subject or the girl. This is the relationship between part of speech or elements. The last is the functions of each elements, like as a subject, or as a verb, or as a complement, and or as a adverb. Let's break down first one by one. For example, I have an example. The example is my brother buy a new phone yesterday. My brother is a subject. Buy is a verb. A new handphone is an object or complement, and yesterday is an adverb. So different words have a different part of speech. Okay, the next is syntax does not only organize the form of a sentence, but it also creates syntactic meaning. Let's pay attention to the example. The first sentence is the dog chased the cat. The second sentence is the cat chased the dog. Both of them using same word but have a different meaning, right? Because why? Because there is a differences between the positions of a subject, verb, object, complement, and so on. So this shows that word order can change the grammatical functions and the meaning. Okay, so syntactic meaning is influenced by several main aspects. The first is word order that I mentioned before. It can change the grammatical function and the meaning. The next is tense and aspect to show the time and process of an action. And then about agreement, like she runs versus they run. So if we have or we use a subject like he, she, it, we put as ending in the last verb. When we use are you very, we don't need to put as endings in the last verb. And then the next is phrase structure, like the very tall building near the river. The very tall building is a noun phrase. And then near the river is a prepositional phrase. But it's okay, I want to give you more understanding about the phrase after this, right? And the last is the grammatical function that I mentioned before, that in a sentence there is a subject, verb, complement, object, adverb, and so on. Okay, next I will explain about part of speech. There are two parts of speech or classes of part of speech. The first is open classes and the second is closed clauses. Let's check it out. The first is open clauses. These clauses can grow and change as the language develops, based on Franken et al. 2018 with the title An Introduction to Language. There are four types or four kinds of open clauses. The first is noun, shows a person, place, thing, or idea. Okay, for your information, there are a lot of the part of noun. The first is countable and uncountable. If you can count the noun or if you can count one thing, it can be classified as a countable, like book. But if you cannot count the thing, it can be classified as a uncountable noun. For example, water. The next is about singular and plural noun. If you have one thing or if you have one book, it can called singular noun. But if you have more than one book, it can be classified as a plural noun. And the identity of the plural noun is there is a s or es ending in the last of the noun, like books. And the next is about abstract and concrete noun. If you can see or touch a thing, it can be classified as a concrete noun. For example, book. But if you cannot see or touch the noun, like happiness, it can be classified as abstract noun because you only can feel, you cannot touch and see with your eyes. This is an abstract noun. The next types of open clauses is verb. It means that it shows an action or a state. There are a lot of the types of verb. The first is transitive. It means that you need to put an object after the verb. For example, buy a book, read a story, and so on. But different with intransitive verb. You don't need to put an object after verb. For example, sleep, cry, and so on. The next type or the third types of open clauses is adjective. It can describe a noun. For example, beautiful, handsome, tall, short, and so on. And the last class of open clauses in part of speech is adverb. It can describe a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. For example, there are a lot of the types of adverb, right? Like adverb of time. For example, yesterday, now, tomorrow, and so on. And then adverb of place, like in, at, and then adverb of manner, and so on. Okay, the next part of speech is closed clauses. According to Verb 2009, in his book with the title Analyzing English Sentences, he said that closed clauses are categories that do not easily accept new members. The first type is pronoun. It means that replace a noun. For example, my name is Alya, so the pronoun of Alya is she. And then I am, she, he, her, his, and so on. This is the pronoun. So next is preposition. It means shows a relation of place, time, or direction. So what are the differences between preposition and adverb? Preposition must followed by a noun, an object, or a complement. For example, in the house. In is preposition. Why? Because after in there is an object, the house, and the house is a noun. That is a preposition. Different with adverb. If you read or if you write a adverb, you don't need to put an object or a noun after the adverb. For example, I read a book now. After now, there is no object or noun, so it can be classified as a adverb. The next types of close clauses is conjunctions. It means that connects words, phrases, or clauses. For example, and, but, because, and so on. The fourth types of close clauses is determiner. It means that points to or identifies a noun. For example, the, a, or an, and so on. The is a definite article, and a or an is an indefinite article. The next is auxiliary verbs. It can help the main verb, for example, like is, have, do, and so on. And the last is modal verb. It shows the possibility, permission, or ability. For example, can, will, may, and so on. Okay, the last material is about word phrase. In syntax, each phrase has a head, which is the main element that decides the type and the functions of the phrase. The structure of a phrase helps decide its functions in the sentence. Okay, the next is about the list of word phrase. The first list is noun phrase. It can consist on NP. So, of course, the head of noun phrase is noun. For example, the beautiful city. The next list is verb phrase. It can consist on VP. So, of course, the head of verb phrase is verb. For example, has been studying. The third list is adjective phrase. Consists on AdjP. So, of course, the head of adjective phrase is adjective. For example, very interesting. The fourth list is adverb phrase. Consists on AdvP. So, of course, the head of adverb phrase is adverb. For example, quite slowly. And the last list is prepositional phrase. Consists on PP. So, of course, the head of prepositional phrase is preposition. For example, in England. Okay, after we talk about more material that related with syntax, let's analyze a sentence using syntax system. Okay, in this slide, I have a sentence. You can see in this slide, the sentence is Alya will have been studying in England for 1 month. Okay, if I have a sentence, it can be consist on S. Alright, so you can see in S, there are two branches here. The first branch is NP for noun phrase or subject in this sentence. The second branch is VP or verb phrase, or you can say it predicate in this sentence. So the subject or the NP or the noun phrase in this sentence is Alya. And then the VP or the verb phrase or the predicate in this sentence is will have been studying in England for 1 month. Let's break down one by one. The first is NP. The NP or the subject that I mentioned before is Alya. Alya is a subject, and Alya have a part of speech. The part of speech of Alya is pronoun to pronoun. Why? Because Alya is a human, not a thing. So it's better using pronoun than noun. Okay? The next is VP. There are 4 branches in VP. The first branch in aux to auxiliary. The next branch is VI, to intransitive verb. The third and the fourth branch is PP1 and PP2. PP is prepositional phrase. So, prepositional phrase 1 and prepositional phrase 2. Let's break down one by one. The first is aux to auxiliary. There are four branches in here. The first branch is tense. And the tense in the sentence is pres or present. Why? Because you can see beside on the tense is there is a M branch, M2 model, and the model in the sentence is will. Oh, okay, so the tense in this sentence is present future. Next, not only that, you can see in the third branch of aux is have plus N. Why? Because consists on have been. Oh, okay. So the tense in this sentence is present, future, perfect, continuous. So you can use verb in here or present participle. So you can put ing endings in the verb into the be plus ing in the fourth branch of aux. You can see, right? Okay, the next branch of VP is VI or intransitive verb. The intransitive verb in the sentence or the best verb in the sentence is study. Why? Because after study there is no object, so it can be classified as an intransitive verb. Okay, the third branch of VP is PP1 or first prepositional phrase. There are two branches in here. The first is in, exists to prep to preposition. In is the preposition. And then the second branch of PP1 is England. England is a country. Country is a noun. It can consist of an, right? So the last branch of VP is PP2 or second prepositional phrase. There are two branches too. The first is for, consists on prep or preposition, and then one is a noun, consists on an, and month, same with one, is a noun, consists on an. So one and month is a noun phrase. Because why? Because there are two different words of noun, right? It can be classified as a noun phrase. So the tense in this sentence is future, perfect, continuous. There is a will, there is a have, and be. Okay everyone, I think that's all for my presentations about syntax. I hope my explanations can make you easier to understand and easily to analyze a sentence using syntax system, right? So thank you very much for your attention, and if you have any comment or feedback, you can put or drop in comment column, right? Thank you very much for your attention. See you in the next video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.